From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen, and proudly welcoming you into this very scary edition of For the People for this Friday, October the 13th, 2017. Hopefully it's not too scary, but we might be talking about Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. It's amazing what you can learn from people that actually know Bill Clinton very, very well. A lot of people have studied him. Ed Klein has studied him with the Clintons. And, man, I got to tell you, it's very interesting listening to this guy because, you know, he's got investigators. He's been around the block, so to speak. And he's got a new book out that you're going to hear about in just a second here. But Ed Klein has been revealing some of the conversations, if you will, between Hillbilly and Bill Clinton about her book. And Bill Clinton has been trying to give her advice before the book even came out. Actually, it's rumored that he didn't even want the book really to come out in the first place. But that is a fact. And here's the good question for Ed Klein in regards to all of these things. What are your sources? I mean, good question, right?
One of my sources, I've got sources both with Bill and his inner circle and also with Hillary. I've been using these sources for 10 or 12 years already, so they've always proved correct.
All right, so what's the tension between all of this?
The tension is that, listen, these two have been in the past not talking, like with the Monica Lewinsky scandal, but I think this time it's more important. And as I say in this new book, All Out War, he went to her a month before the election and said, look, I've done inner polling, my own polling, and it shows that you are losing this election. She said, you're nuts. Everybody tells me I'm winning. He said, you're not polling, number one. And they stopped polling.
He would know.
And number two, you haven't spent any time in the Rust Belt states. And she said, you know, you don't understand modern data collection techniques, Bill. You're really out of touch. And basically, she called him an old fool. And she didn't listen to him. And then when she wrote the book, she gave him 2 boxes full of these manuscripts. And he took a red pencil to it and tried to edit the book, and she would have nothing to do with it. And he told her she looked angry and out of touch.
There you go. She was angry and out of touch. I've said that all along the whole time, is that she looked not only haggard, but she looked hangry, angry, all of the above. She had this huge disconnect and really just pissed off. Not a very friendly person. And she's become this way. And unfortunately, like this, the Warrens out there and so many of the left, they have this same ugly spirit in their voices, how they come across. They don't seem like they're very nice people. And Bill Clinton was just trying to give his loving wife some advice. If it wasn't for the husband and wife thing, because Bill Clinton's been cheating on Hillary Clinton since the days of Arkansas. Everybody knows it. So, you know, it was just politics. And Bill Clinton has been called a political animal. Knows politics very, very well, and not an old fool. He was right on all those issues with the Rust Belt, appearing to be angry, and in even the book, angry. You know, all of these particular things, not nice things, how we can mend America, fix America, but just angry and putting the blame on everybody else, but not herself. I hear that Bill Clinton and Hillary, they haven't been living together. What's up?
They haven't lived together for a long time. Once in a while, they got together for photo ops and things like that, but he spends almost half his time down in his library. He's got a penthouse apartment in Little Rock. He has parties there often. She doesn't know what his personal life is, and they actually haven't talked about their personal lives, but they've been on the phone together for years and years talking about politics.
Yeah.
But now that she's lost, it looks to me like the Clinton dynasty is over, and they don't have much to talk about anymore.
And thank God, Ed Klein earlier on Fox and Friends. But I got to tell you, it's not a surprise. There's just no romance. And yeah, what really was the catalyst was the whole thing in the White House, which was a major embarrassment. But they've had an arrangement for years. In Arkansas, he had dozens and dozens of women, not just Jennifer Flowers, but many others that he had concubines or whatever you want to call them. But had a lot of relationships. Come on, he was young, he was good looking at the time, charismatic. And no matter how many women that he did it with, there were so many women that he could do no wrong. Even today, there's women that would say, "Oh my God, if Bill would give me the time of day, just love it." Because women like power, they like prestige. But what Hillary Clinton would do is she'd go after the women and she'd destroy them. She did that to Monica, but she did it to dozens of others. Oh yeah, destroy them. So she was more than aware, but that was the embarrassment because of the Oval Office being nicknamed affectionately the Oral Office, and then all the antics that surrounded it, the cigar, etc. Okay, yes, we don't have to get into it, but you know the story, and everybody knows the story. The millennials, they know the story. I mean, it's been passed down with the generations, unfortunately, but yeah, when you think about Bill Clinton, what story comes to mind above anything else? Yeah, it's that. It's, Zippergate or whatever you want to say. So here's the question to Ed Klein. What about the Clintons' relationship with Harvey Weinstein? They both kind of came out with a statement. Hillary Clinton predominantly. What's up with all of this? Why are they out on the circuit?
Clintons were very close, as you know, to Harvey Weinstein. He gave her tons and tons of money. Bill Clinton hung out with Harvey in Hollywood with all the girls and so forth. They knew about this, as did almost everybody, by the way, in Hollywood. I knew about Harvey Weinstein years ago. I mean, it was not a secret. And it certainly wasn't a secret to the Clintons.
All right. So, folks, the bottom line is contributions were numerous. Talked about it the other day. Money poured in. The Obamas accepted it. Gifts accepted. Clintons hung out with them. And Bill Clinton loved the ladies. And knew Weinstein loved the ladies. And Bill Clinton loved them. And hanged out in Hollywood. And he still loves the ladies. Oh, yeah, he has those. You just heard Klein. He might be controversial. But he has his sources, and anybody that knows the Clintons knows this is true. Ed Klein is who I'm talking about. Very reliable sources close to the former First Lady. Talking about their issues, and one of them, the most damning story, was Bill Clinton actually throwing her book, What Happened, into the trash can. What's up with that?
Yes, when she said, you are an old fool, you don't know what you're talking about, he took these boxes of manuscripts and he threw them in the trash.
Yeah, that didn't go over too well. And the book really is just awful. It's awful. It's very sad. I guess if anybody, with the snowflakes, they were just so disappointed, they were just looking for just something, some comfort food. That was the book, What Happened, because people were scratching their heads. They thought it was all short up. Remember, she had the fireworks all ready to go, and they didn't launch the fireworks. It was just so sad. But Ed Klein, former New York Times Magazine editor, long time, been described by the liberal media watchdogs as a conspiracy theorist. But while the Clintons and other Democrats have in the past denied some of his more sensational charges about the Clintons' personal life and political feuds, there's credibility to this, folks. Clearly speaking, there's not been the love fest, and whatever love they have is the love of politics and power, because both of them, and the Clinton Foundation, all that stuff's dried up. Clinton, she said she was going to get to other foundations. How much money that she's going to actually give back through the years, of how many gifts you think that she's going to give it all back? Come on, give me a break. But it's, quick to distance herself. And she still thinks in her heart of hearts, probably in 2020, that the DNC is going to embrace Hillary Clinton in 2020. Come on, they're trying to actually get a new Democratic Party that's younger and pull away from Nancy Pelosi and such and get rid of her and get some new blood in there. And to me, that's the only way that you're going to be able to revive a broken party. And just the same as the Republican Party is not your dad's Oldsmobile any longer, because if that was the case, Donald Trump wouldn't be in charge. Democrats get a lot to learn from what happened. The book, What Happened? Donald Trump happened. Take inventory, take stock in our country. What happened? Your husband sold us out. The Bushes sold us out. GATT, NAFTA, and continued on with these trade policies that closed down the factories in our country and caused untold damage to our infrastructure, to our communities, to our families. They're just ridiculous. And the wages that people earn today are just unbelievably poor. And people are good at what they do, darn good at what they do, and deserve certainly a raise and then some. But what they did was they made our country substandard in so many different ways, where so many other countries now do so much more effectively, able to build, maintain. I mean, when you look at Japan, for instance, the Netherlands, France, Switzerland, and you look at some of these cities in Europe, their infrastructure, their buildings, their downtowns, they are newer, faster, fresher. No trash on the ground in Japan. Wow. It's spotless. It's beautiful. Ronald Reagan, hopefully, when that vision that he had, or whatever he saw in his head with that city on a hill, Washington, America, that city on a hill, that beacon. We really need to get this country. And so I was never offended for one moment when Donald Trump ran on the platform of fix America first, make America great. That's what really got me interested in politics back in the 90s, when Chuck Harder had bumper stickers in the 90s that said fix America first. It made sense. We were involved with giving money to everybody else, but us getting shortchanged, getting the leftovers. Politicians getting rich and richer, more benefits on top of those. Power hungry, but could care less really about the people. The disconnect was just terrible. Man, we have a lot of work to do, but it took whatever you want to call them, the deplorables, to step up to the plate, because they realized that our country was going to hell in a handbasket. And folks, make no mistake, there are those with their agendas, the liberal agenda, that want to continue going even worse than Obama, if it's even possible, to be able to even go further to the abyss, where everybody's smoking marijuana, driving down the road, drinking, and nobody really serious about the future, oblivious to it. Because it really, the truth be known, these people that are in smoke-filled rooms on the left side would love for everybody to be asleep at the wheel, oblivious to any of the other things that are going on. Let them rule the world and let you be in the dark. And it's interesting that there is such reality to that. It's not even funny. That's why entertainment is the mecca. It's why people go to the movies.